Yes, whether you're retired or whether you're working, still people spend a lot of time on their computers or watching the TV or whatever it might be. Now, I'll tell you now, it's impossible to sit with good posture in this position unless you're consciously thinking of it. So you have to actually engage, I'm not sure what Angela will say, but whether it's, transverse abdominals or whatever it might be, you have to engage that. Now, I'll tell you, if I'm doing work on the computer, I'll be like, okay, yeah. 5 hours later, I'm like, oh crap. And you're sore and you put pressure on your sacroiliac joints and your neck stuffed, and it's just impossible. And the reason is, there's only one muscle that actually truly connects your upper body to the lower body. And Angela and Sarah are going to just harp on this one all the time now. We had a good discussion about this one a few weeks ago, but you would have heard of the hip flexors. Okay, there's actually 8 hip flexors. Okay, it's a complex area, but the prime mover is the psoas. Okay, spelled P-S-O-A-S. It's Latin, like all of these things. But this middle picture here, and now Angela's got one of these sheets so you can actually look at it. But it's a cut from here to here. We've removed the intestines, the bladder, and all that. So there's the coccyx and the sacrum, and then the lumbar vertebra there. This big long muscle right here is your psoas. Okay, have a bit of a look closer later. But the psoas comes off the front and side of your spine here. It's slinky sort of in front of the sacroiliac joints, and it actually connects on that bone right there. All right. So it's long, but it's the only thing that actually crosses over that midline point of your body. So, and firstly, when it's short and tight and all that, it causes masses of back problems. Back pain is often in here, but you've got to go right down deep into the cavity here. So, when you're sitting like that, it's off the stretch. So how's your body going to stay in a good position? You can't, unless you're actually thinking of it. So you will just fold like that. Now, I don't know if this chair's probably not going to do the trick for me, but I'll show even just simply on this. If I put one leg back like that, and I've now engaged the hip flexor, I can't fold. That's as far, and that's actually uncomfortable. So considering I can do that, as soon as I do that, I can't do it because it actually locked my upper body to lower body. It's like a magic trick. But it's crazy. So we teach people, in the office, people don't always have the best setup, or even at home they don't have the best setup. But I actually just teach them to be mindful. That's one of the first things, is just understanding that sitting's not great and you're not doing anything wrong by slouching, because that's actually how your body's designed to do it, but to try to find other positions. So I've got in the clinic, my desk aren't super high, and often if I get 20 minutes at lunchtime, I kneel because my knees are okay, but you can see straight away, I kneel, that's actually engaged, chest is out, shoulders are back. That's as simple as that, and I can just work away on the computer. You wouldn't do that for 8 hours, obviously, but as soon as I go up in that position, you can actually get like this, my body just wants to compress straight away. So it's just understanding that this muscle is phenomenal, and I could go into a million other things about it, because it's also, yeah, it is. It's just as a teaser, all the main nerves for the reproductive system, urinary system, large intestine, all go through the hip flexor. And it has a massive impact on things like incontinence and irritable bowel syndrome and all these things. But they're all tied in with joint dysfunction. So if you have a joint dysfunction, you're going to have a hip flexor dysfunction and vice versa. So you can start seeing, if you don't look at that, then it's harder to know what to do there as well. So it's just it's a fascinating little system. I work on the theory that if I can get people as close to that or working towards that as possible, then that's the best that we can sort of do. So, and just, I guess, digressing back to this a bit, if you're as close to that as possible, it means that when you're standing, you're distributing as much of your body weight and forces through your skeletal system, and you're not relying on all of this to hold you up, because that's the stuff that's going to hurt, that's the stuff that's going to fatigue. Whereas, if you can rely on your bones to take the pressure, that's why it's so important to try to get, at least try to get things as balanced as possible from side to side, front to back.
Right fit. And, you know, I see people in gyms with, you know, barbells over their head and whatever, and they're coming out and they're all like, yeah, I could walk for 3 days. And they think that's good, you know, and I just worry about that, and I just wonder, I'd like you to express what your theory is on that. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to all sorts of things with that, but generally, it shouldn't be a horrendous experience, number one. Like, I don't get me wrong, I push myself in training and stuff like that, but it's not sustainable to do that all the time. It's just not. And I'll use CrossFit as an example. You can't keep doing that forever. You are going to destroy stuff. And I've seen it because we're closely related to a CrossFit gym. People blow their backs out, they do their shoulders, because so much stuff lets us go above the head. Neurologically and anatomically, your arms hate being above your head. It's about the most vulnerable. That's why I take my hat off to these guys and girls that can put a 200 kilo bar above their head. That's phenomenal, because we're not designed to do it. Doesn't matter how good the professionals are around you. People always ask me, I say, I can't give you a timeline. You know it's good pain or bad pain. Don't make excuses, because some people are, it's like, you just don't want to train. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
But you know, most people do know what's good or not. So listen to your body, figure out what's right, and then sort of go with that. But high intensity, being sore all the time, man, people are going to end up with lots of issues down the track with this up through the heart, or lift the heart, lean over, and then lunge into it, and then you get a great stretch here. You do have to be mindful that people do get, and I've seen it a bit with when they try to stretch too far, you can get quite a lot of pain here where it connects. So you just want to make sure that you don't stir something up. But that's one way to stretch through there. It's the best way to stretch through there. Pecs. My right arm's up, right leg goes forward, and it's just lunging into it. You've probably all done something like that. Sometimes people put both arms up in the door frame. What I don't like about that is your shoulder blades end up hitting each other and it stops how far you can go, whereas if you do one, you can get maximum range of motion. So it's just essentially taking your shoulder blade back away from your rib cage. That's what happens in that movement. And if you do that a few times each side, 15, 20 seconds, you will actually feel immediately your shoulders sitting back, chest out, and it reminds your brain where it should be sitting. Front of the neck, I don't like giving people neck stretches, because if your neck's anything like mine, which is trashed, you start wrenching your head around, people get more pain than what it's worth. So I do think that one's better if you can get work, like hands-on work done on it, and then released, but just out of interest. I get people to sit on their hand because it anchors them in. Otherwise, if you do this and you don't anchor yourself, people just start pulling the whole body over. Whereas if I do that, I'll stop where my arm pulls. But with neck, you've only got, I guess, your posterior neck muscles, side neck muscles, front neck muscles. It's exactly the same movement. I'm always pulling straight across. It's just what angle I have my head, or what. You know, so basically, if I want to do the back of the neck, I look this way, pull down. If I want to get the side of the neck, I just pull straight over. If I want to get the front, I look back, and you can see how the angle just changes. It just changes which part you're doing. Same thing, you'd hold for 15, 20 seconds, have a break, and so on. I'm always big on, these guys might push you more, I don't know, but stretching to strain, not pain.